The quiet isn't peaceful. At least, not in that room. They call it the world's quietest room. Anechoic chamber. No sound, no echoes, no vibration. People stay for hours, sometimes days. I stayed 3 nights. By the second night, I realized I wasn't alone. I remember the first night clearly. Walking in, the door closed behind me with a soft click. The world disappeared. Footsteps? Nothing. Breathing? Mine alone. Heartbeat? Louder than I thought possible. Every tiny sound amplified in my own ears. My skin crawled. My thoughts screamed. I sat in the center. No clocks, no windows, no distractions. Just me. Just the silence. And then, a whisper. I froze. Thought it was my imagination. No, not imagination. A breath. Close, soft, right behind my shoulder. The hair on my arm stood up, my pulse raced, my throat tightened. I hadn't moved, but I knew something had. Something unseen, something that didn't belong. I tried to convince myself first night jitters, isolation, my mind playing tricks. But deep down, I knew the silence wasn't empty. Not really. I'm a sound engineer. Studying silence is part of my work. Measuring decibels, analyzing acoustics, testing thresholds. I've been in soundproof rooms before, but nothing like this. The Anechoic chamber is in a small lab just outside Portland. The building is old, industrial, concrete walls, narrow corridors. The room itself is small, padded walls, wedges everywhere, deadening every echo. No hum, no vibration, no life. The first night I explored carefully. My shoes squeaked. My breath sounded like thunder. I lay in the center, tried to meditate, tried to acclimate. The silence pressed down. It's a pressure you feel on your chest, a weight. Hours passed. I noticed subtle things. My heartbeat bouncing in my skull, every nerve screaming. My own pulse sounded like a drum, my teeth grinding, my stomach growling. And then, a whisper, barely audible, behind me. I spun. Nothing. Empty walls. I thought it was exhaustion, fatigue. The mind plays tricks when deprived of sound. But the feeling persisted. Something shifted in the room. I couldn't place it. By the second night, I was careful. I prepared. Water, blankets, notepad, everything to keep me grounded. But the room had changed. Not physically, not structurally, but it felt alive, attentive, watching. I began noticing patterns, breaths that didn't belong to me, shadows along the wedges flickering in peripheral vision, a floorboard that creaked, or maybe I imagined it, but I was alone, or so I thought. The air smelled sterile, cold, metallic, but there was something else, faint, underneath. Iron? Or something else? I couldn't tell. Silence became a predator. It moved around me. It made me aware of things I shouldn't have noticed. My pulse, my muscles, my nerves, everything amplified. Night 2 began calm, or so I hoped. I sat on the floor, my flashlight off, eyes closed, heart slowing. Then, a whisper, soft, just behind my ear. Not a word, a breath, too deliberate to be imagination. I opened my eyes. Nothing. Empty. The room had subtle changes, small sounds. I thought I had knocked my water bottle, but it was on the floor, untouched. My pen moved slightly on the notepad. A shadow shifted across the wedges, faster than any normal movement. I tried rationalizing, fatigue, isolation, my mind projecting. But every whisper, every shift felt intelligent, deliberate, watching. Then came the breathing. Not mine. Slow, soft, irregular, circling me. Not audible from a distance, but I could feel it close. My pulse doubled, my muscles tensed. The air grew colder. My skin crawled, my throat dry, my thoughts spiraled. My flashlight flickered when I reached for it, just for a second, enough to make me see shapes, faces in the wedges, leaning, waiting. I remembered my training: calm down, measure, observe. But every instinct screamed, leave. The whispers grew louder. Names, mine, repeated. My hands shook. I wanted to call out, but no sound came. My body betrayed me. Something brushed my shoulder, ice cold. Nothing visible. My mind screamed. I froze, heart thundering, breath shallow. It wasn't imagination. It wasn't fatigue, not entirely. The room had changed. Something was in there with me, waiting, patient, attentive, silent when I tried to track it. I realized I wasn't alone when I dropped the flashlight. It clattered across the floor. I lunged to pick it up. Something pressed against my back. Not hard, not crushing, heavy, conscious, watching. My muscles locked. I couldn't move. Then a whisper right into my ear. My name. Clear, slow, deliberate. I spun around. Nothing. The room empty. My flashlight trembling in my hands, beam bouncing. Shadows stretched, shapes formed in wedges, faces leaning, watching. The temperature dropped, my breath fogged. I couldn't see the end of the room anymore, just dark wedges, shapes, presence. I tried to run, legs stiff, heart racing, but the room seemed to shift. Distances changed. Shadows moved faster than I could track. It was then I realized, this isn't fatigue. This isn't imagination. Something is in the room with me. Something unseen, alive, patient, waiting. I stayed on the floor, trying to ground myself. Nothing helped. The whispers returned. Not words this time. Hissing, soft, circling, dry breath. My pulse thundered. I tried to reach the walls, fumbling. The wedges seemed closer than before. The shadows twisted in impossible angles. Something brushed my arm. Ice, sharp, gone. My skin burned. I crawled across the floor, tried to stay low, heart deafening, every movement amplified, every breath a hammer. The air thickened, breathing heavy, whispers closer, one near my ear, hot, deliberate. My flashlight fell again. Darkness swallowed me. Shadows pressed, shapes formed, thin, leaning, watching. I tried to scream. Nothing. My voice trapped. I realized the room wasn't just quiet. It was alive, attentive, and it didn't like being watched. I tried crawling to the door. Too far, too slow. The wedges seemed endless. The shapes multiplied. Every instinct screamed to leave, but the room refused. I couldn't escape. The shadows circled. The whispers intensified. My pulse in my ears, heart racing, chest tight. The presence was on me now, surrounding, behind, above. Shapes in the wedges, leaning, watching, waiting. Not human, not fully. The whispers grew, my name repeated, urging, taunting. I tried to stand, legs refused, my heartbeat deafening, pulse racing. Something touched my arm, sharp, ice cold. I spun. Nothing. The room shifted, the wedges bent, shadows pressed closer, shapes merged, twisted, leaning toward me. I lunged for the door, too far, too slow. Darkness swallowed me. Whispers circled, cold breath on my neck, heart pounding, every instinct screaming. And then silence, thick, heavy, watching, waiting. Morning came. The door opened, light flooded in. I collapsed outside the room. Alive, but forever changed. Even now, I feel it, watching, in quiet rooms, in silent moments, waiting, patient, persistent. I survived, but survival isn't safety. Not here, not in that room. If you ever face absolute silence, don't get curious. Don't step inside. If you were trapped in this place, would you survive? And if you want more true feeling horror stories, like and subscribe, but don't get too comfortable.